Hello, darlings. Adabar's head. Welcome to another podcast. I'm here today with Dayo, who's my neighbor, and we also have another thing in common, which is we're both parents.
Yeah.
So, welcome, Dayo.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. So, can we start with your introduction, please?
Absolutely. Good morning, our wonderful viewers. My name is Dayo. I'm actually a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, and I'm so glad to be here. I think it's always nice to have two parents, talking about the very common things that we all go through, which is kids, right? So I'm blessed with 5 lovely children. They actually range from age. Actually, the eldest turned 8 yesterday. Woo, woo.
It's like an achievement for us, right?
It is.
It is our achievement.
Yes, because as they're growing, it makes things so much easier. And I know you understand what I mean by that. So they range from age 8, and my littlest is actually 6 months old. So I'm grateful for them because there's so much joy. They bring so much joy, so much light to the home. Aside that, I'm originally from Nigeria. Yes, to my African people out there, West Africans. We reside here, obviously, in Katy, Texas, in the U.S. So that's pretty much a little bit about me. It's a pleasure to meet every one of you, and thank you again for having me.
Of course. I really appreciate it too. And thank you for your lovely introduction. See, I'm still learning about her, So I think what I'd like to ask you is, in your motherhood journey, what are some of the things that you wished somebody would have told you before you started this journey?
That's a very good question, actually. Oof. I think a lot of times growing up, we see our parents, especially our mothers, handling kids, taking care of kids with so much grace. And oftentimes we don't tend to see what's going on in the background, meaning we don't see when our moms or fathers fall apart, where they need time to themselves, where, they feel like they need space because the chaos of the home can actually affect their mental states. Mm-hmm. So I think we don't see that because kids see us as super moms, super dads. They want something and they want it now. And oftentimes we have to tell them, okay, give mommy time. Let me recuperate and I'll get back to you. So we don't see that background, like mommy needs time to she needs her space because honestly, I can tell you many times and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. I need time for myself. I need to put things together because if not, then you pour the passive aggression on the kids, which is not right because then they don't deserve it. They're innocent. They just want to be around their mom. They want to be around their dad. So, mm-hmm. And I don't think there's anything bad in it. So honestly, I just think I wish someone would have told me that, yes, having kids is beautiful. It's important. But sometimes if you're not ready for the kids, take time to yourself to get to know yourself because when those kids come, you might not have that time to yourself anymore. So, yeah.
That is so true. I can so relate to it. And I feel like at 40 now, after having 2 kids, I'm literally thinking to myself, who am I? I'm having to rediscover myself almost. And one of the things that I do to take care of myself is to make sure I get my nails regularly because that just helps me. Like if my nails are good, I feel good.
Absolutely. That's a good point right there, honestly.
So what do you do to take care of yourself?
Ooh, actually, I was talking to one of my friends about it and I'm like, look, whatever you have to do, especially like during the postpartum period, because like I said, my littlest baby is 6 months old. So that's my 5th baby. Don't ask me how that happened. But, honestly, after I had my son, I was like, I won't call it depression or I won't call it, postpartum depression, but I kind of lost myself in the process because I've been having kids back to back, right? And I no longer felt pretty. I no longer felt, like myself, like you said, you tend to lose yourself in raising kids. And that's very, very common, as you guys know. And I said to myself, what can I do to actually make myself feel like me again? Don't laugh when I say this. But you know what I did? I went to the bathroom and shaved my head off. I literally cut my hair. This is a wig, which you guys know, but you have to look pretty, right? But underneath all this, I actually cut all my hair off. And I was like, I've been holding on to that hair for a long time. I've actually asked my husband, can I cut it? He said, no. Can I cut it? No. But I'm like, you know what? It's not about you right now. It's about what I want. What will make me feel free? What will make me feel like me again? So I literally took scissors and, start zip cutting away.
And that helped?
It helped. If I tell you the transition between that was like, I felt alive. I felt free.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel like I was, underneath something that, I have to take care of. I felt like a whole different person. It's a different new identity entirely, different from the fact that, I have to do my hair, put my hair down, I have to worry about this, but I didn't have to do much to it. And I can be free to do other things because guess what? I'm just wash and go. You know what I mean? So those are little things I do. I also do mani pedis, but of course, I don't have to do my nails anymore. Before I used to do my fingers, but now I just do my legs, my toes, and most importantly, my lashes. Like that is very important for me.
Yeah.
That, brings the beauty out.
Yeah.
So that's like top tier right there. So yeah, just little things like that makes me happy.
Yeah. And I'll be so honest, this brings me so much validation, I would say, just to hear what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
because for me to cut my hair even a few inches is a whole question. Like,
Wow.
I'll think about it for days. Like, am I going to do this? I've been trying to get a bob done for a long time.
Really?
And I've been thinking, my neck is too long, and do I really want to get a bob? Will it suit me? And to know that if you want to do something, you
do it.
You do it.
Take the bold step, and you'll be surprised how beautiful you look. Not to say you're not beautiful, you're beautiful now, but it's a different identity, and you feel like a youth again. You feel youthful.
Yeah.
And as we're growing, let's be honest, we're not getting any younger, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter the amount of Botox you do.
I'm getting younger. I'm just kidding.
But truthfully, though, we might look younger, but at heart, we're not really getting younger. So sometimes you want to like reverse time, and in the things we do.
Yeah. Totally. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Absolutely.
One of the things that I also wanted to ask you is when it comes to toddlers,
Mm-hmm.
right? And especially with you, when you have a little baby who doesn't move yet or move
Mm-hmm.
around yet, but there are toddlers who are constantly moving around, making noise. So, like, what is that one thing that you do to calm them down or to get out of a tantrum?
Mm-hmm. Oof, that's a good question. Honestly. So I've gotten to realize that gender differs in raising kids. I have 3 beautiful girls and I have 2 boys. And if I tell you, it was so much easier to raise my girls than my boys. With my boys, I feel like I'm clueless. Because boys, they're not as attentive as they are as girls. Boys, they don't listen. They're going to do whatever they want to do. I don't know why they feel like they run the world. So that ego, that pride that you see in your husband is starting from scratch. Because they feel like they can handle everything and they want to figure things out on their own. So it doesn't even matter how little they are. Like if I'm starting to see my 6-month-old just want to be free in his own little, space. But when it comes to holding it down, oh my gosh, I don't know. It's tough. With boys, it's tough. I tell my son, my 2-year-old now, it's like, sit down, mommy's coming, don't make a mess, don't make any sound, and he throws a fit, and my 2-year-old is not patient at all.
Yeah. Like,
he's very, very impatient. So I'm like, okay, he wants something, he wants it done right now. You cannot tell him to stop and wait, mommy's coming. No, he wants it right now. So I'm like, okay, what do I do? So oftentimes I have to plan ahead. Because I know that, when he wakes up from a nap or when he wakes up in the morning, when he wants his food, if you don't have that food ready, it's going to be a whole different ball game. And I want to start my day off right? So I'm going to plan ahead, either if I have to wake up a few minutes earlier to just have his food prepared. So when he wakes up, his food is just right there to avoid the tantrum, because that also sets your day.
Yeah. So are there any boundaries that you set with him?
There are some boundaries. He knows, when mommy says no, is no. And I think a lot of things has to do with discipline. So everybody has different, understanding of what discipline is. Me personally, I discipline my kids, and my husband, we are in the same views of discipline as well. Discipline can come in different spectrums. Some people don't feel like, sending your kids to timeout is profitable. Some people feel like, just talking to them, will make them understand, which sometimes is true because every child is different and every child's character is different. So you treat a child as an individual rather than as a group, right? So for my son now, I've realized that, when I'm firm, he understands that is mommy wants you to stop right now. Rather than if I'm being playful, his name is Asher. Asher, I don't like what you're doing right now. I want you to stop. He's going to be laughing at me. Literally, that's what he does. You'll be laughing. But if I say, Asher, I want you to stop right now, he stops. So the tone differs, right? Because he knows after that tone that I've given, there's something after I've told you a few times and you're not doing it, there's going to be something that's going to happen afterwards. What's that thing? Punishments, right? Discipline. So I would tell him, go to timeout for maybe 2 minutes. And he knows his timeout spot. And he goes in, cry. After that 2 minutes, I tell him, okay, let's talk about what you just did. This is why mommy did this. This is why mommy told you to go to timeout. And you know not to do that again, okay? So I make him understand. So because we just punish the child and we don't explain to them why we're disciplining them.
And if we don't, then they don't really understand what's the point.
They don't. And that can actually cause a rebellion in the child. And you don't want a rebellious child. Absolutely. So you have to explain to them why you did what you did. So they know that it's coming from a place of love, not a place of, hatred.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll just share here at this point that one of the things that I learned while I was raising my kids is it really helps if you go down to their level. Because if you're just talking at them and you're taller and they're shorter and they're like, and they're like, oh my God, they're overwhelmed as well.
Yeah.
And if you just get down to their level and then let them understand or just have a conversation with them as to why mommy is upset at this particular action that they did or why what they did was not the right thing to do, they're more likely, going to understand,
more receptive,
the whole point of all this. They'll be more receptive.
Yeah, that's actually very, very true. And I'm starting to change my discipline skills now that my kids are growing now more, especially for my oldest one. So my oldest one, like I said, was 8 years old. And recently I realized that talking to her heart means and will yield better results. For example, she did something recently that, was kind of like, not that I expected it was, but I was very disappointed actually. So I bought some churros from, one of the churros food truck. And I came home and I know that's what she loves, we brought it and she ate it and then she wanted some more. So she told me that she's going to have one more. She asked for one more. I said, yeah, sure, go have one more. By the time I get there, half of the box of the churros was gone. And I'm like, okay, what happened here? She said, oh, it was just like that. I'm like, no, it wasn't. It wasn't like that, Araya. I told you to take one and you took more than one. And she said, but mommy, I thought, it didn't matter. I thought, I was just going to take and just eat it because you told me I can eat it. I didn't know you meant specifically one. I said, no, I meant just one. I said, so now my heart is broken because you didn't meet my expectation because I told you to take one. I trusted you as my daughter that what I say, you're going to follow through with it. And so now you broke my heart. You broke my trust because now how do I trust you when I say, do something and you do something opposite, much more than what I expected in a negative way? She said, mommy, but I didn't know your heart. She started crying. Mommy, I didn't know your heart is going to be broken. I said, yes, my heart is broken because I trusted you. How do you expect me to feel? And you don't want to break someone you love's heart. I love you. You love me. Why do you want to break my heart? Then you make me feel bad. So this same tone I was given to her is the same tone. I'm talking now, the same tone I was given to her. Like that emotion, I brought myself down in that emotional state. Like, this is really how I feel. And afterwards, she was able to apologize and say, Mom, I didn't mean to break your heart. Rather than me scolding her, telling her that, no, you lied, you stole. You know what I mean? She understood that I really felt bad and I was disappointed. And that's more receptive. And then you see a better change in that rather than you scolding them and accusing them.
What a game changer that is.
Honestly, that taught me a lesson.
Totally.